Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the Akai MPC, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. This is session 5.4, and I just want to actually undo some of what we did here. I still want to use this hi-hat pattern, but instead, the Morphogene does have this play input, so when it gets a trigger, that's when it will start playing, and instead of playing, it's just going to play, or instead of having that SOS work as a VCA, which would be cool for certain things. I actually want to play more of the sample. So what I've done here is I've got the gene sizes actually super small, so it's playing like the same little chunk over and over very quickly. Watch what happens when I turn this down. So now it's playing more of that sound, which is cool, but that's going to get super boring. It's just going to kind of keep playing the same sound a lot. And a few ways I can actually impact this would be by adjusting with the slide. I could adjust where it starts playing the sample from, which could be kind of cool to have it change that. Could be cool to have it change the speed or pitch that it's playing at. The morph is pretty fun to play with because that allows it to adjust the, like, adding in some extra grains and stuff. So I'm just going to, though, come over here. Let's just use this rather fast LFO. And we're going to use it. I'm going to use this attenuverter to make it so it's not changing the start too much. But let's just see how it sounds as it kind of swipes around. It's not making that much of an impact. Let's crank it up. So now we're getting like a little bit of a different rhythm to it, which is kind of neat. And maybe we'll come over to the sloths here. We can have it adjust the pitch as it's going around. So it's still kind of getting that start trigger based on the rhythm of the hi-hats, but it's really changing that sound around a lot more. I don't know that I want it kind of getting that LFO sweep up and down though. So I'm going to stop it for a second. The LFO sweep is probably not quite what we want. I do like it changing, but I think what we want instead is we want on the trigger, on that hat trigger for each one, I think we want it to take a different sample. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stacking cable so I can hook in to the same thing with two different. Basically what it's doing is the signal's coming in through the yellow one, it's going into this trigger, and then it's coming over here. I'm just using RAN step. It can be super handy to have one of these sample and holds. That's effectively what it's doing. Is we're taking the trigger, and we're just going to come over here, and we will let it do the positive and minus for Ferris speed. It will hold the same pitch value for as long as, or until it gets the next trigger. So now we're getting something that's a bit more rhythmic, and it's not getting that like LFO warble where it's kind of get that LFO making it go up and down while it's starting to and continuing to play. So, and that might be a little bit too much. But this is now getting into a space where it will just kind of keep playing that forever, which is kind of cool. I do feel like this is now where I need to actually start thinking a little bit more about some of the gates here. So, because I don't want this to be a continuous sound. So I'm going to also take this trigger. I'll use a shorter cable. Take the trigger. I am going to go into the apex to get this LFO, or not LFO, to get the envelope. And from here, I do want this envelope coming in to the CV in. We're going to take these outputs and run them into the filter. I know we did this before, but we're going to do it again. So, grabbing some more cables. I'm going to get these outputs over to here now. So now we're getting kind of more of a laser blast sound. And it is changing over time, but it's not holding for quite as long. And I can then adjust the ADSR here. maybe the resonance is a little too much. So I'm just trying to get something that it won't be playing quite so much, but allow it to still kind of bounce around. I think that's a little too much release. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of neat. Now we've also got a few other modules that I think we'll play around with in the next video, but I'm gonna let this sit and stay. So anyway, guys, end of the video for today. Keep making music, keep having fun, and peace.